resources. Good day to you, partner. I'm Guy, and I can already tell that I'll be your best friend in this forsaken kingdom.
Hey guys, Wheat Solo here, aka the Skeleton King. So, what do we have the pleasure to watch today? We get to enjoy the Paladin. I didn't even remember this was a class in this game. I thought it was actually a mercenary these days. But it appears like, prior to my knowledge, this is actually a player class, which means a person is controlling this character on the screen, and the Act 3 mercenary is actually the AI. All jokes aside, Paladins have been notoriously bad in PD2 for seasons. Arguably the worst class in the game overall. But but there's been one reason to play them. Conviction is broken. Now, unfortunately for Paladins, Infinity exists, which means you normally don't have to stomach the awfulness of a Paladin to enjoy Conviction. But the Conviction aura on a Paladin actually has a reason to be used, and the scaling on it is quite nice. It's just, why would a person want to basically be a mercenary? Just pump up Conviction and then run around supporting his, group mates. Not to say this doesn't exist in the game, as some PA groups actually do have a Conviction Pally on lock, and then having a Cursed Necro just means you destroy everything on the screen instantly with just any bit of elemental damage, usually like a Power Strike, Amazon, etc. Or Lightning Strike, whatever it's called. But this is different. This is still mainly the support character, kind of like the Green Goblin. And Knife Wrench actually theorized a Necromancer like this exists for the Act 3 Warshrike Mercenary. I forgot who first noticed the Warshrike interaction with Act 3 Lightning Mastery, but whoever it is, kudos to you. And anyways, basically, the Warshrike on the Act 3 Mercenary is buffed a lot by his Lightning Mastery, and he also casts Static Field. As you can see on the screen, Static Field is basically proccing at all times on every single enemy. It has a massive radius that basically covers an entire screen. So basically, every enemy he's facing is probably going to have 25% of their health. As you can see, them, again, 25% of their health. So basically, with the Lightning Pierce of Conviction, a Static Field is going to drop enemy mob health to about 75% of their total. And then, with, again, the Pierce from Static Field plus Conviction, that means the Warshrike proc from an Innocence Act 3 Mercenary using the Warshrike Unique Throwing Dagger means mobs are going to die, as you can see, in generally one proc of Nova. Now, this is a T1, and this will not scale too well to T3, but what it mainly depends on is the map and the mobs inside of that map. Horizon aren't the weakest enemies in the game, but it is a T1, and I believe it's fairly good for the Lightning element. Once the map health mod maker guy who created all the map health thing has updated his for Season 9, I gotta make sure if that's not done already. I actually want to do a bigger dive into that and kind of identify what map should be running for which element. And that's basically because builds like this exist in the game, and just no one's out there doing it yet. We've all known about the Green Goblin now for 3+ seasons, and it is very good. But the Act 1 Physical Mercenary is not the only mercenary that can actually do a shit ton of damage. The Cold Merc is solid. He does drop off as the game progresses, but he does great damage budget, actually better than Act 1 Physical very early on, depending on plus skills and FCR. But the Act 3 Holy Shock Merc, generally not known for dealing damage, is a great support character thanks to his Static Field, but with Warshrike does a significant amount of damage on himself. Emilio is just the best AI, and for some single-target situations, he's your go-to bet. And then, of course, the infamous Beyblade Act 5 BO Whirlwind, where his Whirlwind will basically one-shot almost everything on the screen with a curse or not. He just does that much damage. The reason people go Act 1 Physical over Act 5 Whirlwind is because he's a fucking moron, and Act 1 Physical just goes... and, range is better than melee. So here's the relevant information on the screen. Warshrike now has a 40% chance to cast a level 35 Nova. That has been changed from last season's 20% chance to cast a level 40 Nova. The damage that is important to you is 355, which is a level 35 Nova, times about 1,182 Lightning Mastery, or 11.82, and that I believe is like a level 32 Lightning Mastery from the Act 3 Mercenary, and that does get increased by plus skills. Now, plus skills do not affect the Warshrike. So although the damage has been reduced a little bit from Season 8, just because of the fact it's more consistent, mean the build feels better. And in fact, I actually think it would be better for a Necromancer to play as well. Now, do I think a Necromancer would have as much success as this Paladin? Well, the Necromancer won't be able to deal with single-target fatties, because as you could see, his playstyle is pretty simple. By his way, his gear is pretty good too, so don't discount that. His playstyle is basically let the warshrike take care of any white mobs, and he sacrifices on the bigger health minions. I asked him about his gear choices, and I was wondering about things like, what about charge? What about exile? What about different armors, etc.? As you could see, he was basically shifting between Joust and Blink. And basically his answer was this was his favorite so far, partly because Alma Negra is such a good shield for breakpoints, etc. But there are other ways to play the build. Almost anything works. All that's important, basically, is the warshrike, the innocence, and maxing out conviction. You don't even need to use sacrifice. Like I said, you could try charge. You could try just Joust, etc. I actually think Joust and Vigor would be sick, although, yeah, I'm not sure how you could fandangle that. That would be weird. I guess you could run a Harmony. Yeah, I don't know. I guess you just swap, but swapping seems annoying anyways. So yeah, you'd probably just have to charge without Vigor. But anyways, a 6/6 sick build, and like, this game has more to be discovered, and, you know, PD2 is your oyster, guys. Eat it. Skelly King out. GG.
Come play with us, Daddy. Forever